Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And we're back to talk about the mid-season finale of Season 4 of Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology, entitled Queen Takes Night. So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace.
And explore Gotham.
That's right, Dragon. It's been a while. Hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, man. Next time we decide to do 12 Christmas things, maybe not wait. Maybe not. Perhaps wait until the second week of December to start with that.
Yep.
So that's our bad, folks. But Gotham, it's just sitting here waiting for us because it's not going anywhere, right, Dragon? Because of the annoying air schedule. Do you want to rant about that for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, folks, the reason
just to get it out of the way.
So, folks, believe me, we tried to get this in. Within last year, let's say.
Well, you know what? It's the first thing to start out the new year, so I'd say that's close enough, right?
The point is, we tried, folks. We tried to squeeze again. It was kind of hectic thing with all the holiday stuff we had going on, and the point is, as much as we tried, we kind of figured we'd start off the new year because, unfortunately, Fox, it's not just Fox. I mean, other networks too. AMC's doing us a better deal. So all of our favorites are coming back uber late.
Mr. Robot apparently might not even be back in 2018 at all.
Well, that's just the cherry on the crap flavored cake right there. It's that. It's like Stitch eating that cake and Lilo and Stitch puts the cherry on top. That's what this is. It's like this is the unwanted cake of broadcasting TV. Anyway. The point is, unfortunately, I'm not going to be back till the spring. It's a long wait. I think we have a solid season finale here, which kind of makes me a little, oh man, we got to wait that long. So I'm not pleased with the excessive wait, but I mean, I guess it gives us like a giant gasp of air, breathing room.
Yeah. Dragon, your audio is kind of
No. What about now?
Still not great.
You wait for a while. Not about me. Just rant about the spring.
Rant about what? What now?
Rant about the air.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just look, folks. I understand hiatuses and all that, and they want to give us a better quality product. Here's the thing, though. I'm not going to rant about what Dragon told me to rant about. I'm going to rant about this show's becoming more of a soap opera now. And I don't really know how I feel about it anymore. And we'll talk about that. I'm going to spring that on Dragon behind his back, kind of, when Dragon goes back and rewatches this. I'm going to spring it on him. Towards the end of this episode, I'm going to be like, Dragon, look, like, this show's getting a little ridiculous. I don't know, folks. At the end of the day, I feel like this show it's a well-produced, well-acted soap opera. Here's the thing. I feel like it's always well produced. I feel like the character arcs in themselves, yeah, they're fine. The show's spinning its wheels, though, at this point, man. I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can keep going with it. That's, we'll definitely go through with Season 4, but I kind of feel like at this point... Dragon?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't rant about what you told me to rant about because I feel like you were doing a good job of that, but I was kind of springing the audience a hot take kind of behind your back. You want to know what that hot take is?
Do I want to know?
Yeah, I think you do, going forward for, just to set the tone of the conversation.
All
right, well, I thought this was a fun episode. I think more than ever, I feel like Gotham is just kind of a well-produced and well-acted soap opera.
And again, I've been saying this, like the shows we had now, the superhero shows, mainly on the CW, but I guess just Gotham for this rare case we had going on here. It's again, these are the soap operas that should supplant the old crappy soap operas. If I'm going to pick any soap opera, I'm definitely picking one of the quality.
Artistically speaking, though, Dragon, I'm not really. This show's kind of stretching thin for me a little bit. To me, it's kind of like I'd feel better about watching this show and committing as much time to this show if I knew there was an end date in sight, and if I didn't know that, if I like, here's the thing. For all we know, this could be a Walking Dead situation where they, it's a consistently good rated show on Fox, and they're just going to try and just stretch it in. Like, I don't want to see this show go on like 12 seasons. You know what I mean?
Well, again, TK, it's not just. I think it's like a practicality thing. There's only so much material. Again, TK, I think they're going to probably go. Again, 5's probably going to wrap it up. They're probably going to wrap up at 5 seasons.
I'd love it, Dragon, if they made an announcement. Not because I'm like, oh, screw this show. I don't like watching it anymore at all. You know what I mean? But if they made it, much like how I was excited about Bates Motel ending at season 5, even though we love those characters, Dragon, as much as we adore the Formiga, when they made the announcement at the end of season 3 that Bates Motel was going to be ending after 5, I think you and me both kind of breathed a sigh of relief that A, it wasn't canceled, and B, they had a lot of breathing room to really wrap up the story, and that's what I want for Gotham as well.
Well, yeah, look, the longest I would expect this show to actually run would be 6 seasons. I'm just saying 5 would be. No. Because I'm saying, there is like a.
Now that'd be a way to reboot the DCEU.
But in all seriousness, again, it hasn't been talked up there. Again, 4, depending, it could actually be surprisingly be the last season. So again, be kind of interesting to see how this season ends.
Yeah, we'll see.
We had some stuff in the promo that kind of suggests that this might be sort of. Well, we'll get there when we get there. The point is, Max.
I'm just saying at this point, there's so much wonkiness going on with the characters that it really does kind of feel like it's just sort of like, all right, how much longer can we go like with this? The Penguin like going in and out of Arkham, and the Riddler going from being a good guy to being a bad guy, and you know what I mean. At this point, it just kind of. I feel like this episode, while fun in its own right, and don't get me wrong, I love the stuff with Zaz and I love the stuff with Pyg in this episode for sure. That there is some very good stuff in this episode, but overall, I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag. So let's jump into it.
Okay, we start the episode off. Mr. Godman War has kind of been declared between Sophia and the Penguin. Kind of kicked off with the fake death of poor little old Martine, who is, again, to establish, is alive and well. Zaz whisked him off, kind of hid him under the Penguin's instructions, but everyone else blew up a kid. So, yes. And war was declared with the blood of a mute child. So Mr. Penn, Penguin's trusted advisor, we've set up, and I kind of like we got a little bit of payoff from Mr. Penn here. Mr. Penn, he is greeted by Sophia and the Gotham Sirens here, looking for the Penguin, much to Mr. Penn's dismay.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Jim, in a trench coat, finally.
Oh, is that like the first time we've seen him in a trench coat? Okay,
I'm pretty sure they're. If anything slipped under the radar, things like the first. Again, they're slowly giving us one of the 3 things with Gordon.
Dragon, you know what they're going to do? They're going to give us a time jump. Like 6 months in the future. Like Bullock's going to come back. We're going to see him from behind, Dragon. We're going to see Mackenzie from behind. Bullock's going to be like, "Hey, Jim. That's a good look for you. Oh, thanks. We'll see Mackenzie. We'll see the mustache. We'll see, and then Mackenzie will break the 4th wall. Like, oh, thanks, Bullock. You know what? Like, we don't even care about how you're not, you're working at the GCPD now, even though you turned in your gun and your badge. We don't care. Thanks, Bullock, because we need this moment. It's good to see you, Jim. Let's get lunch."
I still sort of. I mean, if anything, I'm gonna sort this again. Assuming 5 would be a last season, we're probably gonna have a moment where the closest we're getting. Tiki, I would love this as an ending, to be quite honest. Tiki, for me, if we ended on a rooftop scene and it's like we had a time jump, and basically we end on like we know where it's going, then we have a time jump. The last scene of the series is the bat signal in the sky. We don't see him, but he's in shadow because we don't. We can still have David Mazouz be in the last image we see as Bruce Wayne. But Batman arriving, and Gordon turns around with a file. We pan up and we reveal Ben McKenzie, with gray, a little bit of gray in his hair. He's got the he's got the mustache. Wouldn't that be the perfect ending?
Yeah, that would be good.
See, I would be bawling on air if we talk about that if they ever did that.
Oh, man. Okay.
The best. Okay. Anyways, getting on point. The point is, Gordon's got a trench coat to step in the right direction. I'm very thrilled about it. So. Okay, Jim finds a half dead black market doctor and a little kind of sprawled in blood message, lovingly left by Professor Pyg.
Toodles, Jim. It's been a gas.
Toodles Gotham. He's just saying goodbye to the whole
Oh,
town. He's
okay.
intimating that he has skipped town. Toodles Gotham. It's been a gas. So it's not just it's a love Piggy. I mean
Oh, God.
your pal Piggy.
Piggy.
Your pal Piggy. God. All right. So what they surmise from this
I love the misdirection of this, by the way.
yeah. I think I like the payoff thing. I can absolutely understand why people might not be thrilled about it. We'll get there. We'll
Get there. We'll get there.
The point is that what they summarize from this, with the half-dead kind of black market doctors, that he's changed his face, and this is a foreshadow for some stuff we might be getting after the break. By the way, kind of again face transfers and such.
Hmm.
He's gotten a new face and he skipped town, so they're assuming Pegasus fled town. Meanwhile, Penn, he's being tortured by Tabitha. No luck. Sophia's plan is to kill the Penguin and kind of let the gang support her. Basically, hey, the Penguin's gone now. We'll follow the Falcone, because that's what we do in Gotham. We love the Falcones.
Yeah, they do some bold stuff with the Falcone family as well. We'll get to that.
Yes,
speaking of which, Sophia gets a troubling phone call.
Oh, yes. Now, again, we've seen Sophia. She's usually calm, cool, and collected. She gets a troubling phone call. That's got to be big to get Sophia rattled.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
so Dragonworth, the GCPD with Harper, and I gotta say, I just gotta give her prop. I feel like Harper, at this point, truly and surely is the closest thing we've got to a Renee Montoya on the show.
And she's real Montoya, too. Yeah.
Like, I gotta say, I'm glad they've kept her around. I really hope they don't just kind of write her off or kill her off. I hope they give her some breathing room, because I'm enjoying her presence.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I like this. She's just, she was kind of attacked by Zaz, but she's kind of brushing off don't worry about it. I took care of myself. I'm good.
Right. She fills Jim in on how Sophia escaped, and now Gordon's going to worry about Sophia. Basically has a war to stop by starting with Sophia to kind of stop from war between her and Penguin from breaking out. As that's kind of put in motion, Sophia goes to her father's house as the sirens are pondering, and they reveal that she's at her father's house to meet with Don Falcone.
Oh, I love how nervous Babs is.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love to respect that. Again, I loved. Again, it's probably the last time we're gonna be able to talk about him. So
Probably.
I love John Dillman. I love him as Falcon. I've always loved him as Falcon ever since the first episode. He's always been great, and the whole thing he has with Gordon, it's been great. And the payoff to that here, and he is. It's revealed that he was called by Penguin to put an end to the war. Basically, get his daughter out of there, and we have a real tense conversation between him and Sophia. Because as we established,
this is the ultimate I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed speech. Dragon.
Oh yeah, so he's very upset with Sophia for defying his wishes. Because as we established when Gordon visited Falcone, in the first place, he said, "No, I do not want you." He warned Sophia, "You're not ready for Gotham. I don't want you anywhere near Gotham yet. You're not ready yet." And she went there behind his back. He wanted to see what was going to unfold, and he is not. He is really disappointed. She's saying, I did this.
Dragon.
Yes.
Falcone is not proud of his girl.
He's not proud of his girl. He's downright disappointed for his anointed.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. We are nerds.
Okay, obscure Disney references aside. Okay, in all seriousness, so basically, Sophia's pleading with, I did this to make to make you proud. Basically, they give Gotham to you. Gotham's our city. And and Falcone, he's just, I always love when we do this city stuff with Falcone, the history of Gotham. I go crazy for this sort of stuff. And Falcone he's making the point that, look, I've made peace with my time in Gotham ending. And again, that's a very kind of Snyder-esque thing right there. Again, you have a lot of time in Gotham. We kind of said this earlier on. I'm saying because we're rounding it out with Falcone. You might as well bring it one last time with him. Is that Well, I love the idea of the season, if Falcone dies, the idea that Gotham's heir, basically being in Gotham was not healthy for him. That one, he's returned to Gotham, so I love that right now there's an element of something bad's going to happen to Falcone while he's here. And it's that classic idea of Gotham is kind of it's another worldly thing where if you can't make it there, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, and Gotham kind of decides what if you can move up the ladder or not. And Falcone's had his time, and Gotham kind of gave him a death sentence in the regard of sickness of some kind. So that's kind of poetic and kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. So the minute she says, Gotham belongs to me, backhands her. Wow. I mean, again, Falcone has such respect for, his respect for the name, the gravitas of his family name and kind of what the city means and how she's just kind of defiled that, just kind of backhands her in the moment, just so pissed off at her.
Dragon, you know what? I'd make a joke about Alfred if I wasn't so heartbroken about the Alfred storyline this episode. I'm giving Alfred a free pass.
I feel so bad. Well, we'll get there, man. Again, we're gonna need some
Alfred, you get a new year. You get a new year child beating pass.
Yep. All right, we'll get there. A lot of love abuse of children in this one. Now that I think about it.
Yes.
So again, her actions have disgraced the family name, and again, one of the big things behind that slap is the fact that Sophia has slept with her brother's killer.
Oh, and I love how he just directly calls that out. Like, oh, is that supposed to make me proud? Sleeping with the man who killed your brother?
Yep, and also
just like this. I'm sorry, we're getting off on really random side notes.
That one really is random. I guess even by my brother, that one's a little random. But I do love the little Barbara gag here, where Barbara's interjecting herself. I'm sorry, what now? She slept with Jim Gordon. But anyway, so then Penguin enters with a great line, and again, just given the fact that in the rewatch, it holds up even better as Penguin entering with this line of all lines, saying, children can be such disappointments. Of course, after everyone thinks he's blown up a child, he has that line, and of course, then taking Selena hostage, just making sure no one makes any false moves. It's a good entrance for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a new reputation, after post blowing Martin up, and definitely using that to his advantage in the moment here. Sophia, she desperately is begging her father, "Come on, let's kill Penguin. We can end this right now. Let's just kill him."
She's basically like begging to kill Penguin. Like, come on, buy me that new car, please.
Falcone reveals that he and this is a good again. Just John Downey's owning it.
Can I do it?
Oh, sure, go on.
If you were anyone but my daughter, you'd be dead right now.
Yeah, Falcone just stepped in to make sure that because he knew she was going to lose, and I get one that's kind of a big shake in her confidence. We've seen her with this whole season. Just her the only thing truly got under Sophia's skin is her father cutting her down like this, and I think it was kind of a good dimension we saw Crystal really bring to Sophia this episode.
Yeah.
But of course, she does have kind of something in her back pocket, which we're going to find out by the end.
Oh boy. All right, Dragon. So let's get to the part of the episode I like to call Requiem for Bruce.
Sure.
It's so depressing, man. It's so sad. It's so sad.
Right. So Alfred was called in to deal with Playboy Bruce, and we have full-blown, from what I can tell, we have full-blown Playboy Bruce, which I'm a little surprised by it. I'm kind of impressed they went all the way with it. Bruce.
Hold on, Dragon. Hold on. I'm sorry. Brief side note. I can just imagine Norman and Norma watching this episode, and Norma being like, "I'm so glad you're not like that, Norman. You're a good boy." All right. I'm sorry. I had that flash in my head. I just need to get it out.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining because I remember there was a marketing thing that did this. They did. To promote Bates Motel, they did like a Netflix and chill thing. Now I'm imagining because Gotham is on Netflix, folks. I'm imagining Norma in the bed, watching on the laptop as they watch movies together, watching Gotham. It's just remarkable to him. Oh, it's hysterical. Anyway, back on point. So Alfred's been called by the GCB. Basically, a noise complaint. He says, "Okay, it's all yours. Deal with him." And Bruce, again, this kind of tragic there. Bruce, he's full-blown Playboy mode. He's definitely a train wreck.
Yeah, with maybe 3 or 4 girls in bed.
I think it's 2, but there might be a third one I'm not seeing. But yeah, a couple girls in bed. And, I'm just gonna, I like that they kept it vague. I'm gonna say I like that they kept it vague. He was a young guy, but at the same time, you never know. Anyway,
And
point is,
of course, being harsh.
this is funny. This is classic Alfred. Alfred Wood does stuff like this to Bruce a lot of the times in the comics, where like he like one time he was like under the influence of poison ivy, and he went into the shower, and Alfred like he turned on the cold water on him, which is hilarious.
Body is well and truly over, Master Bruce.
Because he takes this ice bug again, and I love it's a symbol of what how Bruce has gone downhill. I mean, again, he's been good writing. I'm just saying downhill in terms of like from his mental state. He's been drinking himself silly a lot of nights and partying really hard, like in Playboy Bruce. And he takes the ice bucket, the symbol of that, and he moves like, "Oh, good year."
He's dragging.
Yeah.
Playboy Bruce, is that a big part of Phantasm?
We have a little bit. We have a little bit of it in the. We have some fun stuff within the opening. It's not throughout because we see some good dimension.
I'm just grasping at straws for like David Mizzou. Like, oh, you know what, guys? This guy at this convention gave me a DVD of Phantasm. We have to work some stuff in here.
I told you, Tiki. Really, be on the lookout at when they come back from work, because then he would have had time to watch it by the time.
Right.
That's. Again, if you watched time, this is.
Anyways.
Once again, he has to have pull with the writers too, so there's a little bit of give and take.
Of course.
Okay, the point is, he wakes Bruce up. Parties, as Tiki just said. Then we have, we have a really great reunion between Jim and Falcone.
Yep, a short-lived reunion.
Yes. So let's see. Again, Jim's, again, I love the respect and history between these guys, very much so, as I always have. And, with the Jim warning him about the deal he made with the Penguin, warning, hey, you don't want to trust the Penguin. I made a deal with him to let Sophia go, and that went south, real south. And then we have this. I love the writing here. I love the delivery of this. And I love Antigua on the rewatches is so fantastic because Falcone suspects her end game plan, which I love her end game plan, by the way, when we get there. And I love that's what he's saying in this scene. He's warning him of it in his last moments. And he's saying, I'm glad I never killed you. Thanks. And I really love that moment instantly. Then I love how he's undercuts it. Like, again, it seems like such a warm line. He says, killing you would have been a kindness. And he warns of basically the realization that Jim's going to be in for later on. And he says, and he warns that when you realize what's in the works here, it will break you. That's a comfort. And again, I love that because it's going to truly break Jim Gordon later on. I'm still wowed by that moment. We'll get there.
To me, it's something that, like I said, is kind of like I could see that building towards like an end note on the show. Anyways.
Yeah. So Sophia confronts the two men in her life, and her father and and her
another day, another man trying to send me out of Gotham.
Exactly. She kisses Jim goodbye. This is the last time that Jim and Falcone will see each other. We established, and it is true. And again, I always love the history of Gotham get within Falcone's lines here, where he just has this really kind of memorable line. And it's kind of almost like that Godfather warning bit there. We have like one of those moments coming up.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. I do love the subtlety of this line. Oh man,
and this is all over the animated series. We always do the Godfather moments in the animated series where like something's a little off, then something bad happens. Where one he says, "The sun never shines here."
Oh God, that's so good. That's so.
We do that, and then we have this other bit here. So we do that in dialogue, and then visually, Sophia she remarks on her mother. Had her mother plant the rose bushes in the corner there, and says she's gonna pick some, and then she kind of pricks her finger. That's the Godfather visual right there. You always have something like the light. That's the light bulb going on in Godfather 2 right there. That's what that is. Mm-hmm. She pricks her finger. And again, I don't know. I have to speculate how strategic that is. That might be something bigger. It might just be like, that might be the signal for the guys.
I got to admit, Dragon, when I first saw it, I kind of got freaked out that we're going to go back to the Alice Tetch virus.
I was thinking poison ivy. That's what I'm. That's
okay. Yeah.
And I'm still, again, there's a very small chance of that. I doubt it now. I'm just saying there's maybe, in the first watch, I definitely thought there was a chance. So then, again, we have a very long Halloween / Godfather hit occurring, because it does look like right out Long Halloween. Of course, the whole Falcone affair definitely pulled from Long Halloween season. A hit occurs, and boy, it's a big. Sophia, she's hitting, and her father, her man, like everyone, but Jim hits the dirt and kind of covers Sophia. Falcone and his men are killed. And again, it's such a big moment because again, Falcone going down. It's like it's the old Gotham dying with him.
Mike Dragon.
Yep.
Mike.
Oh. What about now?
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is, man. It's just it starts to get staticky, and then I don't know.
You want to game it now?
No, you might want to go out. I'll talk about Falcone. All right, I'll kind of build that up. Anyways, so yeah, folks, we lose our second big, head of a Gotham crime family in the show. In season 1, we lost Maroni. And here we lose Falcone. I got to say, though, this kind of speaks to the finality I was sort of talking about. With the loss of Falcone, I kind of like how we have both these big crime families sort of off the table at this point. Of course, pending how the Sophia storyline sort of wraps up. Yeah, you sound better, Dragon. You sound better.
Good.
So, yeah, Dragon, how about it? We lose two of the, we lose both Falcone and Maroni. They're both off the table.
I know. I mean, Falcone again is kind of a certainty. Usually, more often than not, I know Falcone. Falcone has this thing where every time we have Falcone arrive, then he at some point he's going to get killed off. So I mean, it's always it's always a certainty that Falcone's going to die. But at the same time, it's like always in this case again, it was such a big moment that kind of echoes old Gotham dying off, and it's kind of a sad tragedy in that regard. It's a big moment. I like that it has that gravitas behind it.
And it's one of the moments in the show that, to me, sort of spoke to the finality of the show as a whole.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, and again, it's like Falcone's destiny is returning to Gotham. That's his destiny to die. You don't return to Gotham after it spurned you away. It told you to go, and you come back, and just bad. Again, it's that kind of that Snyder symbolism there. If you come back to say something bad's going to happen to you, in this case, Falcone's death sentence was a certainty coming back.
I do like how the writing, throughout the episode leading up to this moment, it never really tried to hide. Like, it was very upfront. Like, hey, Falcone is probably going to get killed off by the end of this episode, probably sooner rather than later.
It was a great commercial break. Her just kind of her screaming in silence at her, looking at her dead father as Jim just takes it in like, oh boy, this is a big status quo change. All right, so then now again, we always do this in Gotham. At least now they kind of addressed it a little bit more here. We're 6 days. This
yeah. The timeline in Gotham is all sorts of wonky.
It's is it 3 or 6 days?
3 days. 3 days.
Three days later. The news, and this is kind of we have like Alfred kind of watching, so we can have get a little bit more of an Alfred Bruce scene going on here. Basically, again, Gotham's reeling over the death and the big kind of change from Falcone, who ran Gotham for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. And Bruce has kind of like the gross outline of the series, I think.
Yeah, well, it's kind of it's kind of funny though.
There's a mess in the rolls. You'll need a bucket.
Yeah, the Rolls Royce.
God.
Yeah, that poor Rolls Royce. I gotta say though, again, we didn't do any of the cliche dumb a young kid drinking gags. That's a classy version of that. I'm impressed.
No, you're right. You're right. They could have gone far. I'm just saying, like, I like how it's worded.
Yeah,
it leaves it up to the imagination.
Yeah. Thank God they're not near a bakery.
Oh God, man. Why? Because of Harry Osborn?
No, that'd be great. No.
Anyways.
My rolls! Why?
Oh God!
Just imagine James Franco with a chef's hat on, like a rolling pin and apron, just like a Stella moment of like, my rolls.
All right.
I'm just passionate about so many baked goods, and no. Okay. Rolls aside, Penguin. So
yes, Penguin and Zaz.
So Penguin's sad to see Falcone go, and I can't blame him. It's and I like that. Again, Penguin had he was mentored by Falcone. He had respect for the old man.
And Zaz getting very, very paranoid that Penguin was behind this whole thing.
And again, we established that Zaz is the most loyal to Falcone, and we've had that before. He was his main hitman. I love that we see, and I love the misdirect here as well. I love that Zaz is the most impacted, as he would be, by Falcone's passing.
Right.
He's asking Penguin, "Did you do this?" And saying, "Look, Victor, hand to God, didn't do it." And we'll see why Victor is definitely cementing himself like that. So let's see. Now we have the big operatic funeral, which again, just given those scenes we had in
It's
the
very
first
much a
season,
Roman funeral, right? Which fits with, of course, Falcone the Roman.
exactly, and also it connects to the we know Falcone loved opera music, he loved just kind of the classic. With what we saw of him in season 1, so it's a it's a full circle funeral for Falcone. So Falcone felt like he got service really well in the show. I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd definitely say so.
So it's a
Definitely a
big,
lot better than Baroni.
definitely. He didn't die over like Baby Doll or anything. He didn't die over us calling our guest.
If she would have used her bare hands and her teeth, then I would have excused that.
Yeah, it would have, but yeah, it's again we scoop out an eye, but we can't kill someone with teeth. I don't know.
Right.
We can traumatize generations with the eye, but we can't just like literally kill someone with their bare hands and teeth. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I want to see in the show.
What's the world going to
do? Maybe they're saving that for the series finale. Who knows?
Well, then they have to bring her back again.
Yeah, screw it. If they have to bring her back again just to have that moment, then I'd be fine with it.
All right, anyway. So, yes, we have the big operatic funeral. Zaz is hurting really bad. I love how we can see that on Zaz throughout this
funeral. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, Dragon, this is a moment, like, very, very few moments kind of make me almost, almost well up a little bit, but this was one of them, man. This was powerful, I thought.
I had a feeling
going up to the casket and putting the one bullet.
Yeah, because he was always.
That was nice. That was a good touch.
It's the symbol. It's symbolically. He just. He's the. He was always his hitman. He gives him the bullet. That was a sweet gesture, and also, putting himself Falcon's pocket and leaving Penguin. He leaves Penguin alone, which is a dangerous move, and that just shows you where Zaz is kind of like you don't know where he's kind of standing right now. He's really he's leaving his new boss alone because truly Falcon will always be his original boss. Mm-hmm. Also, this is it's not really one to hide because this is a deep cut reference, and I love that we did this with Sophia Falcone because Tiki, you don't know this, and that's fine because you haven't read this yet. But the sequel to Long Halloween brings Sophia back because remember she jumped out a window in Long Halloween. She kind of fell out a window, and she's alive, and she's in the sequel. In the sequel, she's in a wheelchair.
With a twist.
She is in a wheelchair, and she has like a neck brace because she has like.
Nice.
That's what this is a reference to. It's how she, I forget exactly what the injury was, but she's like somewhat paralyzed.
I had a feeling it was some sort of comic book call when I saw it.
Because she is I guess she's paralyzed to some extent because she had that like a brace. I don't know if like how I forget what the wound was particularly, but she did have like a neck brace just like that. So it looked a little nastier because Sophia, she was more of a kind of a she's a lot more henchman-like in the book. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the point. So deep cuts. Go there. Jim offers his condolences. Sophia's asking why not arrest the Penguin. He's right there, and Gordon's gonna let her know. Oh, it's not enough evidence. If I had enough evidence, I'd put him behind bars, but unfortunately, I cannot. And we have a really nice scene here. The return after a while. Return of good old Bullock.
Hey, Jim, my vacation leaves up a little early. I'm back.
It is nice that given the history that Bullock also had with Falcone, it's fitting.
Oh,
that
yeah, for sure.
It's a nice way to bring back Bullock, before we bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
And he arrives, and I love that he arrives behind Jim because, of course, they didn't leave on the best of terms, and that was a sad episode. Yeah. And
I like how Gordon almost directly points out, like, "Oh, your leave on the show's almost up, Harvey. By the time we get back next season, you'll be, next year you'll be in the show full time again."
So Bullock's asking why not arrest the Penguin, and Gordon's making the very smart call. Penguin owns the judges, and without hard evidence, he'll just walk. And he tells Bullock, he reveals to Bullock, because Bullock called that the bill would come due, that Gordon would owe someone. Nothing's free in Gotham. And he reveals that Sophia paid off the mayor to make him captain. The bill comes due.
So the Falcones are basically the Dark Army in this show.
Well, not in so many words, but yes.
All right.
Less tech savvy, Dark Army. Yeah. So, by the way, this is kind of neat. Gordon had a line. I'm reading into this. I'd love to think this is intentional because I'm saying we had the Dark Victory reference. I'd like to think this is from. We have a Killing Joke reference here where Gordon, of all people, says, "When we bring Penguin in, it has to be by the book." by the book.
Oh
You know, the
yeah.
big,
Oh yeah.
big line from Gordon in Killing Joke. You know, bring him in, buy the book, which
Sure,
might be
sure.
a little foreshadow to our ending. But again, I'm reading into it, but connecting the dots. You know. Anyway. So, Bullock's advice is to nail Penguin for something else in this classic movie. You know, nail Penguin for something else, and by letting him start his war, you know, let him do what you know he's going to do, and stop him before it escalates. You know, kill two birds with one stone that way. You know, again, so the war is averted, but you know, you let him ramp up, and you get him for something else before all the bad stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
And And again, it really guilts kind of Jim into this by saying, "Hey, Jim, look, finish what you started." Because again, he went down there. He sought out Sophia. So unfortunately, all this is on Jim, and that's the thing. We haven't lost sight of that. Again,
Yeah, we definitely get good points made where essentially the Pax Penguina thing, like morally it wasn't working, but statistically it was doing quite well.
it kept cops safe. It kept people alive, but morally it wasn't right. And again, you have the other side of it there, where Jim, he's just all the good that the pack. Again, the cops are finally on the up and up. They're on the path of moral recovery, but at the same time, it it is coming at a cost where it's based on kind of a lie.
Mm.
So it's interesting. More on that later, I guess. So. Penguin says goodbye to his old friend. That's a nice little scene there, him saying goodbye to his old friend Falcon.
And of course, first time watching, you're like, you don't know if he's gloating or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and again, love that history. So it's stuff to read into there. And of course, then he just turns like in an instant when he just goes to Sophia. He basically as a goodbye, old friend. And once the minute you're in the ground. Basically, he threatens Sophia right at the minute he's in the ground. I'm gonna. And then Jim interrupts him, just takes her away.
And a good performance on Robin Lord Taylor throughout the episode, kind of losing his mind.
I love it when Robin Lord Taylor gets pissed off. Really, I don't know why. It's a lot of fun. Jim says, tells Sophia, like, "What are you doing?" I'm finishing what I started. So. Yeah, and we have, here's a great scene, again, connected to that scene. Now, we always have, these are classic scenes, and I like that, and again, now Victor isn't at his disposal, so Penguin's doing his own, doing himself here, and again, it's a fun, I love seeing how we've grown here. Of course, with Falcone dying, you have a lot of opportunity for that here, and again, going full circle with this, we're back in season 1, famously, this mirrors a scene where Victor Zsasz walks in the GCPD making demands, and Jim stands alone as the rest of the cops, they leave. And in this case, Penguin enters the GCPD. He demands Sophia Falcone with, let's say, flair, because he's basically like, attention Kmart shoppers. Out. It's very much like Zsasz. James Gordon. No one, basically makes an offer like, hey, no one. But basically, he's trying.
Harper's the one to stand up to Gordon. Or to stand up for Gordon, I should say.
Yeah. Jim has this great line where it says, "No one decides who lives or." He's saying, "Why would you defend her? We were trying to get rid of her. You would risk your life for her. No one decides who lives or dies in Gotham." That's a great line. I love for the GCP to back. That's a really good Jim Gordon.
The law is the law. Either face it or get over it, or face the consequences.
I love that scene. I love this whole. It was a really good kind of out of context scene for Jim Gordon. Really love it there. Anyway, so the GCPD turned down the corrupt offer because Penguin's pulling away, trying to pull away did earlier on, basically trying to put the insulting the law of the GCPD, walking in there and basically bribing cops and says, "Okay, whoever brings her to me will get paid triple their salary."
And I'm sorry, this is where Harper steps in. She's like, "Count as much as you want, twerp."
And of course, and this is really sweet here, where the men are asking, "Captain, can we?" "Yeah, sure." And basically, they're all like throwing Penguin out. Yeah. Really nice, Molly. Yeah. And Jim gives this really nice speech here where he says, from the first, I tell you, this is a really nice scene. It really kind of gets me deep down. It's like, oh man, it's nice. Where Jim gives a speech. From the first day I put on a badge, I was told things can never change by Bullock. He doesn't say that, but by Bullock. I was told things can never change. Gotham, the GCPD, there was corrupt criminals, low lives. The corrupt criminals, low lives ran things. You just showed me different. It's basically, Penguin will be coming. It's time. It's time we showed Gotham who we are. Suit up, man. That's cool. Yeah. And again, Tiki, while this is a great empowering scene for Jim Gordon, again, we see how much has changed.
It's an empowering scene for the GCPD as a whole.
It is, and at the same time,
it kind of leans more to that Gotham Central thing you were kind of wanting, Dragon.
It is, and I love it. Penguin choose again. It does feel very. I'm so glad you brought that up. It does feel exactly like a villain walks in the GC, makes a demand, and they kick him out. It's perfect. But at the same time, though, while it's a great scene, it has that kind of undercurrent of sadness that we're going to see pay off there. All this because of that, because of that deal he made with Sophia that we've gotten this far, and that's what's holding Jim back a little.
Sure, good stuff.
Meanwhile, sirens. The GCPD, there are guns blazing. They're taking down Penguin's men who have the sirens hold up, and the sirens tied the chairs. This kind of blew me. The sirens just randomly just captured. We didn't see any of this, so I guess in 3 days they were captured. We just didn't see any of that. Tabitha escapes by, she escapes.
Doesn't she use her foot to fire a gun? Isn't that what's going on?
No, she falls to the ground while she's tied to a chair. She's shooting while the others are directing her to the left.
Oh, okay.
Or left. Cut back to Jim's office.
Teamwork
makes the dream work. So we're at Jim's office. The GCPD, they're faring well. And he's going to talk to Sophia. The GCPD are faring well, but all the gangs in Gotham have an allegiance to the Penguin, which of course means they're ultimately going to be outnumbered, which is not good.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they kind of converse in the plan is to bait Penguin into a public. She calls, I love that she calls him on this. You're baiting Penguin into a public atrocity. Essentially, basically, you're gonna the minute he commits a very public crime, you're gonna get him for that. Sophia then reveals. Go on, Tiki.
Oh, I was going to say, essentially, the idea is that, Gordon is willing for something really bad to happen if it means putting an end to all this, which, is kind of a morally gray area to go into.
Of course. Sophia reveals.
Oh, this is such a good trump card to play.
It is. Oh, God. I love all the Sophia plotting in this episode so much. I really do. Sophia reveals...
the Sophia Falcone plot kind of reminds me of a better version of the weird blonde girl who was, Falcone's friend. Remember that?
Oh, you mean Liza?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, we saw the beginnings of the whole Penguin Sophia thing was reminiscent of that. So that's
what I'm saying, but then it just spun off into a way more interesting direction.
Yeah. Right. So let's see. Oh, yes. So basically, Sophia reveals how Penguin blew up Martine, and I love this. She's trying to spin Gordon. I love that Gordon kind of calls her on it almost, where she tried to. I tried to save him. I love that Jim's skeptical of this. So he's skeptical, and then he points out the lack of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sophia reveals that she has an ace up her sleeve, basically to help prove this. Then we have. Penguin again. Robin Lord Taylor doing his finest here.
How is Jim Gordon beating us?
Okay, and Zaz is the line.
He just takes everything that Penguin says very, very literally, and he's just like, well, every cop in Gotham is behind him. I'm guessing he has great leadership skills.
I laughed so hard when he said that.
Oh, Zaz is just fantastic in this episode. He's been great all season, but I think this episode in particular.
This is funny too. So after Penguin just kind of ran him down, saying, "We got to talk chain of command." When you get back, he then starts this other rant. He's basically starting a tirade. Go do something horrible, and then Jim arrives to make the arrest. The minute he says that, Jim arrives to make the arrest, and he reveals what. I love his the guns are drawn. I'm like, oh, you're here now. He's so I just love how hysterical crazed Penguin gets in these situations, even though it's just a really civil matter. He's approaching the conversation civilly, but he's shouting like he's like a desperate man at the end of it. strikes. Jim reveals that he's arresting him for the not for any other stuff, not for the whole Falcone thing, but for the murder of Martine.
Mm.
Which leads Penguin and Robin Lord Taylor and Jim, Ben McKenzie.
I think the mention of Martine just makes Penguin crack.
It does, and the performance between these two, it's a solid performance on McKenzie here, but it's also great. Again, it has like all that friendship and the quote-unquote friendship between Penguin and Gordon in this scene where he just reacts like, he just plays it like he's an old friend not in on the joke in this scene almost. Penguin's laughing, it's just losing this hysterically. And Jim's like, what's so funny? Why are you laughing? He's not dead! He's not dead. No, Tiki, you tell him what happens.
Oh, Victor basically stabs Penguin right in the back, metaphorically. He's like, no way, boss. I ain't taking the rap for no kid murder.
I'll testify to that.
Uh-huh. Oh, Dragon, can I just say, that's like the most heroic thing that Zaz has done the whole show, and that's so satisfying.
Is. And again, remember, he knows, and we know he's setting them up there. And I love this in the scene. I love this. I love you can see on Mackenzie's face that as the conversation goes on, as Zaz is like kind of walking through, and Jim's looking at Penguin here. Jim puts it together. He gets absolutely what's going on. It adds to the moral grade here. He knows what's going on. He knows that Penguin has screwed himself here. He knows that. He knows absolutely what's going on here. And of course, he starts to get into an argument with Zaz, and then he's. Then, of course, they're about to bring him to a fight. Okay, that's enough. Okay, you're under arrest. And then he has this really nice moment with Zaz here.
God damn, Zaz is so good this episode, Dragon. I'm telling you, I love everything about him. Go ahead.
Jim has this moment with Zaz where he says, this doesn't give you... That's nice, Victor. This doesn't give you a pass. And then, again, Zaz has this great line.
Jim, not now.
Right.
Oh, man. It got to me. It got to me, bro.
Really nice. Okay. Meanwhile, let's see.
Penguin's behind bars, gets a round of applause from the department.
Yeah. Let's see. So Jim, basically in this moment, he accomplishes, and I love this for a mid-season finale. We have these moments, Tiki, where Jim accomplished his season 4 goal. Okay, season's over.
Right.
No, not right. We still got up. Jim, what? It's Bullet kind of going with script pages and glasses on. No, Jim. Jim. What do we mean, ... We ended the season. It's over. No, we have more episodes. Like, kind of like break the board. No, Jim, we got more episodes to shoot. We got. Oh, what do you mean? How's it go south? He flips the last page. Oh, come on.
All right.
Anyway, in all seriousness, as we learned, so we revealed. Thanks for the Zaz reveal here.
Sorry, I kind of lost my place on my notes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Zaz, basically we reveal that Zaz is always, we reveal Zaz is talking to someone, and he's talking to Sophia, as he reveals he is always loyal to the Falcone family, and which also means Sophia. Mm. It makes me wonder if how informed Zaz is, by the way. I wonder if he knows that Sophia, or the hit on her father as well, or if he's just all-inclusive. I was saying, he cares about Falcone at the same time the Falcone was dying, so maybe he's going to roll it off like, well, he's going to die anyway, but, still it's a Falcone name still around.
Right. Okay.
All right, so, so Jim served this role now, and, she echoes Jim's line, it's a new day, and it's always like, that's always the kicker in this show, they always echo, it's a new day. It's like... All right, so the Sirens are back at the Iceberg Lounge. Barbara, she's going to make it less penguin-y.
I seized my moment.
Oh, God, that's terrifying. Anyway, so as Tabitha has a date with the Savage Beast, let's say. She's going to be soothing the Savage Beast. It's her date. We'll check back in with that.
Little Beauty and the Beast scenario.
Yep.
All right.
Not exactly a Be Our Guest kind of special, Beauty and the Beast, but it's
more like Ron Perlman Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, actually, yes, it is. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking wasn't that a Fox show?
For life, man, I don't know, but it sounds like a Fox show.
It sounds like a Fox show, right? Anyways.
So, oh boy, here we go. Here, Day of the Heartbreaking. So we're at the beginning of the heartbreaking end here. So Bruce is Bruce is preparing to go to the horse races with Tommy. And I like that we're keeping Tommy alive, man. I love that we're keeping Tommy Elliott alive. We're
Well,
keeping that
Tommy
plot.
Elliott at this point, I feel like Tommy Elliott is kind of like, we know he's not really that bad of a guy, but he's probably made out to be much worse in Alfred's mind.
Yeah, and again, this is how you do like kind of our Harvey Dent-esque character, where again, doesn't show up that often, but he is still kept, the plot still kept moving.
Right.
Where again, Tommy Elliott, again, if you read the comics, you know what happens to Tommy Elliott, you're going to be even more like, oh boy, okay, this makes all the sense in the world why he's going to have like a grudge against. Like, we're setting up right now. That's where the whole friendship with Bruce is coming from. They hang out, and Alfred's not crazy about that because he's even this Alfred doesn't like. But he had that standoff with Tommy Elliott in the previous episode, and he's basically encouraging all these playboy habits that Alfred's had up to here with. So we discover. I'm sorry, T. Do you want to take us through this scene?
Oh yeah. Let me see.
Switzerland.
Yeah. So he has Operation Save Bruce Wayne, which is a trip to Switzerland. And yes. Oh god, here we go. Are you going to kidnap me, Alfred? No, I'm going to appeal to your better angels, and if that doesn't work, I shall beg.
These are the scenes that break my heart with Alfred, and this is like a classic Alfred scene where Alfred just will do all he can to talk Batman into something here, and be real genuine.
No other reason, do it for me.
Oh yeah,
go on your Batman Begins journey, Master B.
What's tragic here too is that Alfred, you can tell that Alfred's truly desperate here because he's going with the only thing they keep doing throughout the series of Gotham, where it's like, hey, we'll go to Switzerland around the mid-season finale. That's what we'll come back to.
Right.
We'll do some healing. It's kind of like it's almost Bruce saying, hey, no, we're not going to pull your, like he's on to him about, oh, you're going to pull your little Switzerland movie, always the little Switzerland movie. And again, I'm not riffing that on that one that much. It's kind of an actual thing there. He's going to go on with the Switzerland.
So Bruce kind of his response is actually like a nice, like, it's interesting because I feel like it's kind of like it's halfway to Batman, but we're not all the way there yet. Where he's like, you know how much I've thought about Raj and my parents since I've started hanging out with Tommy? Not at all. And you're all
you're offering me is pain. And again, I gotta say, this is very perchance the dream. And basically, Bruce Wayne's offered a choice of live a lie or
I can't wait to talk about that episode, by the way.
So I'm just saying, essentially, this is kind of the choice that Bruce Wayne is offered in that episode, where basically you can take kind of this a false life versus basically a reality where you don't have to think about the death of your parents versus, kind of accepting life's harsh realities here. And I thought, again, the writing team, I thought this was brilliant that, Bruce is, I love that Alfred gets it. And this is stuff I remember early in the season, I told you about, Sean Pertwee. This is kind of stuff he was telling me about, that, Alfred kind of being simpatico with Bruce's pain and kind of the stuff that he's experienced in the field. He sees it on Bruce here, that Bruce is masking all this pain. That's what Alfred calls him on. In the scene, he points out that Bruce is deluding himself here. He says, I can see that you're miserable. That's why you're drinking yourself sick. That's why you're being a playboy.
Mm-hmm.
And, Bruce demands that Alfred stop what he's doing, that he's not, and Alfred comes at him with, Bruce continues by saying, he's okay with not being who his parents wanted him to be, which of course, deep down Bruce doesn't mean that.
But Alfred just comes out very emotionally, like, well, I'm not okay with it, and I don't believe in it.
And Alfred won't let Bruce go, emotionally and also physically in the scene here. He won't let Bruce go. He says, you're not going to let me go, are you, Alfred? No. Then basically Bruce kind of forces him into a fight here.
You really think you can stop me? Oh, yes, I know I can. I love how Frankie is about that. I know I can. I just don't want you to make me try.
I love how we know at this point, because Bruce is really off his game, we know Bruce has no chance of beating Alfred in this scene.
And of course, Alfred, taught him everything he knows throughout the last 4 seasons of the show, so...
Basically, he points out during the fight, it's a tragic fight to see these guys go down the fisticuffs like this. It's tragic. Mm-hmm. Bruce is getting rusty, points that out. And again, Alfred hedges his bets on this, but again, it's the fact that this going into the fight that, Alfred's most likely going to win, but he's going to have to, he's going to have to put Bruce in his place, and Bruce isn't going to like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Bruce, essentially what he does here, and it's kind of like an instinctual thing on Alfred's part. So Alfred, here's the thing: Alfred's less at fault than he was the previous time here. So Alfred's like he's going on instinct.
Very much so. I would say this is definitely a pass compared to the first
Because
time.
Bruce plays dirty.
The first time was honestly like, I mean, it's both out of emotion, but the first time was more just like, oh, I'm frustrated with this child, so I'm going to hit her.
I mean, he literally hit her for revenge. He literally said, "This is for Reggie." You know, he did it for his friend. This case, though, again, it's like Bruce said, "Okay, enough." Basically, he tapped out, and then it's not that he just hit him again; it's the fact that he headbutted him, and he headbutts someone like in a surprise attack like that. His instinct is to, he's got to punch him, and he punches Bruce square in the face. And here's the sadistic thing. I'm kind of wondering the scary thing, I guess. I gotta wonder if Bruce wanted him to hit him for what he planned.
I think so.
Which is a very Batman move, I gotta say.
Oh God, yeah,
honestly,
it's kind of terrifying kind of way.
It's more Dexter-like than Batman, but it does, it fits the moniker. Like Dokes attacking Dexter, that sort of thing. Anyway, yeah. So, so Bruce, was hit really square in the face, and again, I love the difference here. Alfred feels very bad about it. Like, oh, Master Bruce, and he's so, and this is Alfred being forced into the position of parent with someone who's trying to mentor in vigilantism. It's like, oh, he doesn't know what to do. He's beside himself. So I mean, poor Alfred, man. My heart goes out there. This is like the beginning of it, folks. Oh my God, we're gonna be so heartbroken later on. Anyway, so those guys are gonna definitely have some therapy to go to. Meanwhile, speaking of therapy.
All right, Joe, I should clarify, like, to me, the Grundy and the Nigma stuff is sort of the stuff that feels like it's just kind of spinning its wheels a little bit.
Nigma, absolutely, yeah. Nigma's just that they have to get Nigma in there because they set it up in the last episode. That one feels they kind of shoehorned that in this episode. And Grundy, yeah, honestly, Grundy feels, you're right about it. I'm sorry.
Like, don't get me wrong. I feel like Grundy, eventually we needed to get Grundy to this point. I just feel like it's a little rushed.
I'm going to agree that it feels like mid-season fodder in that we know we need to get these points and we have to get them in this other episode. We have a lot more interesting things going on, but we have to jam them in there, I agree with you there. Anyway, so Nigma, so we have Nigma versus Riddler here. Again, the Riddler ego versus kind of the sweet old Ed Nigma. And and basically we pick up where we left off with him. He's having a conversation in the mirror where Riddler is mocking Nigma for falling for Lee.
I love how he tells Nigma a complicated Riddler, just like, you know what, don't answer that. I know you can't figure it out. I'm just going to tell you. Love. The answer is love. You're in love.
And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong here, but I didn't get a chance. I didn't really look into it, but I felt I'm 90% certain this is pulled from it. That's the riddle that he used on Penguin when that's when he buddied with him when they were becoming buddy.
Mm-hmm.
The whole love riddle. That's the one that cemented their friendship. Remember when he changed the belt and everything?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So while that's going on, the Riddler kind of disappears for a moment. As a very perceptive Grundy points us out, is Ed angry at Ed? That is very, very perceptive. Yes,
that was good. You see, that's kind of the thing that makes me sort of angry that Grundy is like at the state he's in by the end of the episode. Like, I want more of that, man.
I still, part of me thinks we're going to reach a middle ground with that, honestly. I don't think we're going to waste Grundy. I think we're going to get a little bit of both somehow.
Maybe it'll be kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde sort of situation.
Maybe, or it's like, well, we'll get to the whole butch of it all. Anyway, so, we have this. I love bringing this music back because one, I love the origin of Grundy, so I love anytime we can bring this music back, and it's good music, by the way. It's the whole Grundy is lured by the Solomon Grundy theme song.
Right.
Solomon Grundy, and of course he's hit by the knockout gas by Tabitha. We cut back. Tabitha is attempting to snap Grundy back in the butch like she did in the arena.
What pretty lady want?
Yes. Basically, she's basically doing carrot over stick in the scene. Initially, she's trying to, or I should say, she's kind of going with sweet reminders over blunt instruments in the scene. She's little reminders like
what you call me, Tabby Butch. You're Tabby.
Oh, which is nice. And again, seeing these two, you're rooting for these two kids to get back together. She's showing them the scar. She's Tabby. She's she's saying the she's kissing him. She's trying to kind of jog his memory, like in the ring. It's not working. And I love it. She doesn't take any. Obviously, she doesn't take any joy in this, but she's realizing what she's going to have to do. Basically,
You're gonna remember me, Butch, or I'm gonna beat your head in.
Basically, I like to call this sequence "Butch or Bust" because basically, yep, it's not going to be. Basically, she's going to get the Butch through not so pretty measures by hitting with blunt instruments until he in his face until he comes to. Poor Grundy. That's all I have to say. Poor Grundy.
All right.
Anyway, meanwhile, Jim and Sophia have themselves a little chat.
Yep. Let's see. So she's trying to put the Falcons back in charge of the underworld, but
Jim's asking not to politely.
Yeah, not having any of that. And oh boy, okay, here we get the reveal of Pyg.
Yeah, we reveal.
Surprise, Jim! I'm basically the Mandarin from Iron Man 3. I'm an actor, Jim. I'm a very method actor. I took things a little further than the Mandarin, so I think I'm more intimidating than him. But yes, that's basically the gist of the twist, Jim.
Anyway, I'd love him to do something with that word. I don't want to get off topic. Point is,
yeah.
But yeah, so Laszlo Valentine, he's there. When he's eating an apple toast, I think it's kind of funny that the pig is eating an apple, like a luau. Yes, and of course, remember, folks, it's not just kind of the honest to goodness. As much as we love we love Michael Cerveris, but I'm just saying the whole it's not the classic. Oh, hello, Jim. It's hello, Jim. It's kind of the Yosemite Sam take on Laszlo Valentine.
I know you thought I'd have a different face because I killed the doctor. That's just to throw you off the scent.
So here's the big reveal of Valentine. I
want to do the posh British guy voice.
Yeah. So basically, we reveal that Valentine was hired by Sophia Falcone, and Valentine is known to impersonate serial killers, which gives me hope that very much like the Mandarin, as Tiki is alluding to, a real Professor Pyg.
For real, they totally Mandarin this guy.
Tiki, I'm gonna hope this. I don't really think this is the case, but I'm just you never know. I hope it wasn't brought on by people just complaining about Pyg, and so they wanted to hedge their bets by saying, "Hey, there might be a real Pyg down the line."
Yeah, well, you see, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like makes me want the show to end, so we don't get into ridiculous. All right, this is the third try at Professor Pyg. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, the fact they kept it open, just the mythology of just Gotham Cities is hey, there's a serial killer known as Professor Pyg, and he's out there. So down the line, maybe Batman would go up against him. We don't need the years. We don't need to see. We got a proto Professor Pyg, and that's perfectly fine.
Sure.
Not even a pro. We got a false Professor Pyg that's an approximation that's demented.
Ooh, I'm like Mad-Eye Moody in Harry Potter 4 for all you Potterites.
So the point is. I'm down with it. It's an alternative version of Pyg anyway. So we had the whole cop backstory, and again, it kind of.
Ooh, what a twist, Dragon! What a twist!
For any diehard Pyg fans, I think I would be satisfied enough. It's okay, they didn't ruin the guy, but also we have a take on Pyg. So I think it's a happy medium. All right.
So unlike Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 3, this guy just gets wasted immediately.
Yes, because
but not before. I love how he calls out I must admit, I got a little carried away with the whole people pies thing.
Yep.
I'm sorry. He's doing it in the southern accent, but I want to imagine it's the
British
I
know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because for a moment it sounds like he's starting to slip into it, but then he's carried away with all eating people. With all bake. Turn people into pies.
With the whole cooking folks routine.
That's the one, yeah. But yeah, so Pyg was sent to Gotham. He's basically to get rid of the Pax Penguina and get the GCPD on Jim's side. He was part of an elaborate plot, and again, it worked. So that's how Jim got the GCPD in his favor again. Again, brilliant plotting by Sophia, I gotta say. So yes, of course, he also shot her from a distance to make sure, it looked like she got hit and basically missed all the vital organs. It's a good shot too. And she reveals that she gave her father a chance. Basically, I guess the idea is after she gave the signal, if she did not give that signal, perhaps she could have saved her father. But, she just needed to. It's left a little vague. I don't mind that. So the point is there was a plan in place. And basically, she gave her father a chance, and he spurned her. So okay, he dies too, and he was dying anyway. So yeah.
Right, and this is where, like I said, we're really kind of calling out the logic with Jim here. Like, how many cops died under Pax Penguina? Not one.
Oh yeah, I mean, here's in the Ultimate Revenge. This is where I marvel in the writing so much. So here's after Jim attacks Valentine, and he promises that he's going to be in Blackgate the Rod. She shoots him in the head and then presents him. After again, I love this. The minute she shoots him in, that's when the plan comes out. That's when the timetable is initiated here. It says, I gave my father a moment of truth, and of course we saw that's what killed him. Now it's time for your moment of truth, and here we get finally Tiki. We get Sophia's endgame, and Tiki is a marvelous stunt here, and that's when she starts the whole Pax Penguin. And she says, "The cops didn't die under the Pax Penguin." Basically, sets up the stage like, okay, here's what you did versus what was happening in Gotham already. The cops didn't die under the Pax Penguin. All the bodies are from your decision to end the Pax Penguin.
Yeah, there's a direct line between you and the dozen police who would have, who wouldn't have been brutally murdered if you hadn't pursued this.
Exactly, because again, just initiating her gets Pig down there, gets all the cops killed. That's all Jim. Jim realizes that this is basically he realizes in the scene. I look at Jim; it isn't all spelled out. That's a good thing to differentiate from like these types of reveals. Jim does piece it together as it goes on. He says, this is your long game revenge for Mario. Basically, this is your revenge for Mario, which kind of makes sense, and it's it's a better way of handling the whole revenge thing that we got in Dark Knight Rises. I'll admit that much. All right.
yeah. I'll admit that too.
I'm just saying the whole scene of sleeping with the enemy ploy. When you look at it, and,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean there are problems with Talia, and there's nothing to deny there. Anyway. So then she presents him with the choice. So again, honestly, I mean, that's a long game revenge because again, she seemed to be really cool with the Mario thing. And if anyone raised an eyebrow at that, now it all comes to fruition. I thought that was a great. It's a great motive. It's a great reveal. It's a long game revenge for Mario. Again, it makes Mario like a little. He doesn't fix any like the.
Exactly. It's funny because it's like Mario died like at this point a full season ago. The end of the mid-season finale of, season 3. So it's nice that they're still kind of getting some storytelling seeds in there.
Yeah, so now Pig has been shot and Jim is presented with the choice. The choice is arrest Sophia and she'll talk. The truth will come out about the deal with the mayor, which means everything, all the good faith, the goodwill of the GCPD, all the stuff that they've achieved, it will be all for nothing.
Penguin or someone worse will take over, and you will have lost Gotham forever.
And I love the painful truth in that. Again, that's the thing we keep hitting with Sophia so well. And while she is our villain here, she absolutely is making irrefutable points like that. It's like, yeah, she does one. The GCPD will crumble.
She's acknowledging that it's a glass half empty situation. You know what I mean? It's like there's crappy parts of the deal either way he goes about it. If he keeps the GCPD, he lives with knowing what you are, what you've become.
It's a glass half full of salt water.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So Sophia, and again, the other alternative. So basically, it's to arrest Sophia.
So would the half empty glass just be filled with normal water?
Well, I'm saying your half empty thing would be it's an empty glass, Tiki.
All right.
It has to be full of something. I'm saying it's salt water, I guess.
Okay.
Point is, okay, fine. But they're both not.
No, I see what you're saying now. What yours makes sense. Just go with yours. It's fine.
Anyway, okay. So basically, again, Jim's faced with a telltale choice to kind of make it all Batman related. Here he's very much faced with an impossible choice here. Again, the other alternative is Sophia runs Gotham like her father, with Jim living a lie. And again, so this is what makes it the perfect revenge.
That is my revenge.
Jim will know that he's living a lie as the GCPD hero, knowing what he's done. That's her revenge. Oh my God, that's great. That's the ultimate. that to me that's a brilliant plan. I love that plan, and it horrifies me too. It's like Jim. And here's the thing. This is what adds the tension to the scene. She dials 911. Basically puts him puts all the pressure on in the moment, because again, this is the telltale right here. It's like that little countdown thing where it's like, now it's got to make the choice. She dials 911, she dials the phone call and hands it to Jim, and now Jim has to make the choice, report, who shot him. Jim reports in that he killed Pig. He killed the pig. He hangs up, and again, Jim in this moment is broken. I mean, this is the most. Again, this is a choice, and this is what they've been promising this season, that Jim's going to become captain, but at a cost.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. They have been hyping up that choice. Yeah.
I love that it finally paid off, because remember, they said way back in the beginning that he's going to become captain, but there's going to be darkness associated with him. There we go, and that's brilliant. That's a great payoff.
Good stuff.
I've never seen Jim Gordon. This decision, I think, is the ultimate thing to break Jim Gordon. I've never really seen anything like this in writing, to be quite honestly. With the Jim Gordon character, I'm really wowed by it. It's like, yeah, he's over a barrel. Sophia, and this is where the title of the episode comes into play. Queen takes knight. She's had this chess game all laid out, and she won.
Mm-hmm.
So Bruce returns, and so we go from one tragic scene with Jim Gordon to a really tragic scene with Bruce and Alfred here. So Bruce returns to
Alfred's just ready to just lay over, like, you know what, whatever you want to do, however you want to deal with it, I'll be here for you, and I know it's not going to last forever, and when you need me, I'll be here. And then Bruce is just straight up like, no, you won't.
So it's just this apologetic and accepting Alfred. So Alfred's being perfect in the scene. And what Bruce does to him here, it's so tragic. It's so sad.
Again, Dragon. Again, cut back to Vera for me. Like, Norman's just like, I would never do that to you, mother. How could that boy be so heartless?
I know, Norman, but it's so sad.
Well, Norman, he's not technically Bruce's father. That makes it worse. He raised that boy, mother.
She says, it's so sad. Then Norman says, oh, you silly woman, it's just the TV show.
God, wait, Dragon. And then Norman gets fixated on, like, killing the fictional Bruce Wayne. Because Bruce Wayne is not a nice boy.
Okay, maybe a step too far.
But all right. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, seriously, oh my God, we're building to it here. So what Bruce does here is, again, it's horrifying but clever at the same. It's like, yeah, that's a Batman line. That's Batman logic right there, and that's the kicker. It's like, I'm impressed, but I'm so disappointed in him, but I'm so impressed.
Right.
So he says Alfred's not going to be there for him, very much so, because he's not going to be in the house, as Bruce reveals in the strategist, the Batman strategy, and reveals that the proto-Batman strategy. He basically emancipated Alfred out of his life here by basically he went to his lawyer when he left the room, and he basically
Better call Saul.
Yeah. Remember, there was that one guy who wanted to secede from the United States. He's capable of that sort of. Anyway, the point is, Alfred has been removed as Bruce's legal guardian in the document. Alfred doesn't need to sign or anything, and Bruce says, "You're fired, Alfred." He fires him right there. It's always tragic when he fires him. Part of me just wants to assume there's like a '60s Batman thing in place, because it's like an early, it's not like a whole. If Alfred ever fired me,
right.
Alfred, he would know I'm under some sort of mind control of some variety, which obviously is not the case, because one that's wonderful.
Well, he makes a really cutting threat, though.
He doesn't. Oh God, you want to tell the folks?
Yeah. He's basically like, if you don't leave, then I will go to the police and show them my face.
Oh God, and just like oh God, it's tragic. I'm sorry, folks. It's really sad. Sorry, folks. I'm just getting lost in like how sad this is. Like, oh man, it's about that was always my North Soul, even in these Telltale games. Like, I always want to treat Alfred like a king in these games. Like, Alfred's my logic. Always when Alfred gets bullied and kind of talked down to place, I'm like, oh, come on, Bruce, come on. Yeah. So Alfred essentially has no recourse. He's going to have to leave. Get out and just get out of my house, Alfred. That's the line that really hurts me right there. He says, "Get the hell out of my house, Alfred's." Like, that's okay. So, I guess after that scene, so Grunt again. More. Oh my God! There's so much. I'm just realizing this now. It's like tragedy. really sad scenes here. Wow. So Grundy is beaten. Tabitha She
She's
gives
like
up.
begging Bruce to say something, tries kissing him one more time.
Well, not Bruce, Grundy.
Oh,
I mean, a different episode though.
I'm
But
sorry. I'm sorry. I had Butch. I had Butch written down.
I like your spirit though.
I'm sorry, Freudian slip. I had
No.
different B dragon. Who's B?
Okay, so Tabitha's getting frustrated, and she just, she leaves. We cut back, and there's a heartbreaking little sequence here. We have a little payoff with Grundy after the scene, but Alfred leaves as Playboy Bruce is lives it up in his denial. He didn't take his moment of change. Bruce is he's living it up in his denial in a sentence with that mark on his head. It's a great final shot of Bruce, though. It's like this great kind of shot of sadness. Like he's basically the last image we see of Bruce. I think is nice that it's he's wearing a mask of sadness. That's what he's wearing right now. Again, a guy who symbolically wears a mask. He's just wearing this. He's living it up, but he's still miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And Bullock, like, oh my, somebody, it's such a tragedy.
Yep.
God, it's been a while, folks. Forgive me. I forgot all about how sad back to back.
Everything turned out well, Jim. You didn't need me. You never needed me, right?
Yep. So then Bullock here is just after all, congratulations to getting justice with Pyg. He says, "Oh, I'll see you soon, right?" Bullock says, "You go in your office." He goes to his office and he finds Bullock's gun and badge on his desk.
And yeah, you're right. It's just every single thing in this last 5 minutes, just like a kick in the nuts.
It reminds me. I've said this before in the Wolverine the X-Men show. And I'm going somewhere with this, folks. In the Wolverine the X-Men show, they always joke that there's this right behind the X Mansion is like a nice little cliff that has a view on it. There's a bench, and they always have so many down endings in that show. The gag is that every time someone's sitting on that bench, they're really depressed and really sad. So on the commentaries, they keep hilariously calling it the bench of sadness.
Nice.
It's like the mid-season finale is the bench of sadness for Gotham here. So then we reveal that, hey, how can we make this more sad? Okay, after Tabitha gives up and accepts that Butch is gone, Butch is back. Then we reveal again, while all this sadness, and again, this is I guess all this back-to-back sadness. I do like that we end on kind of a moment of glee and horrific happiness. It's horrific happiness. Penguin is in Arkham. He's not happy about it.
Well, wait, hold on. Grundy.
Yeah, so as I said, Butch is back, so he snaps.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
The point is, he's Grundy snaps out of it, and he kind of like I forget what he says, but he looks himself in the water. He says, "What? Yeah, what happened to me exactly?"
All right, I'm sorry, Dragon. I kind of spaced out there for a second.
No problem. Anyway, so Penguin's in Arkham. He's back in Arkham after all that Hugo Strange stuff that got him happened. Back to square one, and he's not happy.
I will say, Dragon, it's kind of like I like how this is the most crazy we have ever seen Penguin.
Yeah, well, it's definitely probably the most angry he's been.
Yeah, like we can see that he's legitimately kind of been like mentally broken a bit.
Yeah, everyone's just so broken by the end of this. And again, while it seems like, man, this is the most depressing mid-season finale ever, we're going to have like a big old horrific smile where he's plotting his revenge, just shouting, "I'm going to do Jim Gordon's fast!" But then, I know you had to love this reference. This has to be a reference to the thing I know you're going to love. We'll get there. He's interrupted by a friendly, creepy, echoing voice. And who wants to help him. And also we get like an additional reference before the reference Tiki is going to go nuts.
Not to toot my own horn. All right. I'll toot. Toot.
Oh, a little bit of a Shawshank reference in there too, where he says, "I'm a man." It sounds like he almost impersonates Morgan Freeman for a moment, where he says, "I'm a gentleman I'm a fella who can get things.
Who can get you things."
It has to be a Shawshank reference.
Oh, it has to be. Yeah.
So then. Yeah, anyways, let's see. So then he has the line, you have to not toot my own horn, toot.
What do you say, pal? I'll be your friend.
Of course, when he says that, he has a laugh, and I love that Penguin recognized life. And we had that moment. We had that moment earlier on in when Jerome was introduced, where we had that laugh, where he says, "Oh man, he has no respect for that guy. He's like, that guy's just chaos. I don't like that sort of guy." He says, "I know that laugh." Boom! Jerome reveal.
Give me a smile.
Of course, I'm sure you appreciate the It reference of it all.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And again, it's framed exactly. That's them cashing on the It cachet. But it was great, though. If you're going to reintroduce Jerome this season,
Sure,
plus
sure.
now let's comment on Jerome's look here because we're going to see a lot of them when we come back. It's going to be a while. So just the bridge into the process. Again, it's just Jerome's back. Give me a smile. This penguin looks horrified. Give
Yeah,
me
I
a
like it. I like it because it's kind of like it's more horrific than season one, but at the same time, it's a little bit more subdued than when we last saw him.
Yeah, it's what's cool about the look too is that again I like how we keep going a Snyder direction because when we last saw him in season three, we did the death of the family thing, the whole face removal,
Mm-hmm.
stapling the face and everything. And here, what we're doing, and you'll see this one of these days, I guess, in the sequel to Death of the Family when Joker comes back, he comes back and he has this is the version of Suicide Squad using that deleted thing and that you only saw in the trailer but never in any of the cuts of the movie that still ticks me off. That's the reborn Joker Capullo version, where basically that's where he has like kind of this. The hairstyle's how you can tell he has like that tuft of hair on top, and he's got that tuft of hair like the eyes and everything. You just trust me, it looks a lot like the end game version of Joker. That's what it's called, the Batman end game version of Joker, which follows that. So I really love that kind of that subtle continuity there, and you'll notice like the smiley, the face when they reattached it, he when his face was cut up so you could speak, they had to elongate the mouth flap. So now he has a smile permanently on his face, and I think that's great. We're getting closer and closer to being that Joker model.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right, so folks, promo, of course, they reveal, and this is a downer. Spring won't be back till spring.
Right, right.
It's like Jerome, and that's spring.
We
What?
take like almost a month off from talking about this show, and even now it still feels like forever.
That's the thing, is usually it usually comes back January or February, and now spring, freaking spring. Oh man. Okay, so T, did you see the promo?
No, I haven't actually.
Let me pare it down for you. We got a lot of really. You got to imagine it's a hefty promo because of the whole spring thing. So let me unpack some stuff here for you. Well, Jerome's back, as you can tell, and they play with it too in the promo, which I would recommend. He walks in the frame, and like he's the first thing you see, and it's really cool and creepy. They kind of tease the Joker playing card, so that's cool. As Jerome enters, we see Bruce, not at Arkham, though. Sorry, folks, my theory didn't come true. We almost did, but no, not one iota, actually. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. Point is, while we see Jerome, we see Bruce. He sets the mask on fire that Alfred gave him. He sets the mask that Alfred gave him on fire. We don't know if he sets the suit on fire because again, that suit might be indestructible for all I know. But he sets the mask on. We're setting up Lee versus Sophia. So Lee is really chewing out Sophia Falcone. She's really yelling at her. So now we have the new powers, new power structure in Gotham with Sophia. We have Penguin versus Jerome in Arkham, which eventually is going to lead to them kind of becoming buddy, as we kind of get it's alluded to. Like they're kind of they're fighting each other, but then they're kind of laughing it up with each other. So that's interesting. Let's see. So Bullock. So basically, it suggests that the Jerome stuff might be entirely in Arkham, to be quite honest, or at least
yeah, that's what I was gonna speculate on that without even having seen the promos.
Sure. Bullock is back, but he's holding a gun on Jim, which of course raises some. So Bullock's gonna be back in our story, but it's gonna be interesting how we're gonna bring him back. Why on earth are we pulling a gun on Jim? All's not well in paradise. Let's see. Oh yes. Jim seems to be facilitating the war in the Narrows between Lee and Sophia. So basically, a lot of bad stuff's going to go down in the Narrows because he's having a conversation with Nigma, which suggests that he's in the Narrows and suggests that Lee stirring the pot with Sophia is going to lead to some trouble.
Okay.
What is Jim and Nigma going to have a scene together? Ivy's back. We have Ivy and the new actress, whose name escapes me at the moment, but we have the new actress. The third Ivy actress, by the way.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't know about this?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we recast Ivy, and this is the third one we're getting.
Oh my god, really? Wow. Okay.
I mean, again, the promo shouldn't look bad. I mean, I don't really know her from anything, so it's just,
Dragon, I got to admit, my energy level right now is kind of at a low, so I really don't have much to speculate on. My big speculation is mostly just like I said, like you said, I really do think that the Jerome and Penguin stuff were going to isolate to Arkham, perhaps in an Arkham Asylum type story.
Sure.
That's about it. I got to admit, like I said, my energy is kind of just, I'm sort of crashing energy wise right now. Not because of the conversation, just because, just this is how I usually get around this time of year.
Well, real quick then, because I just want to, because these are big things. The best for last here. So one we
Okay.
we cryptically see some shots of Raish. Raish will be back. Bruce we see this really creepy shot, and again, here's the thing. So Ivy's back and she kisses Bruce, but then we see kind of this, what most likely is a hallucination brought on by Ivy to Bruce with that kiss. That's my guess. But the point is, Bruce has like a vision of some kind. Then we're seeing these cryptic shots of Raish. Could be a flashback. Could be Bruce's hallucination. We don't know. Then we have these two really important shots. We see Bruce's face sliced off. And the best shot of all, which intimates that perhaps this could be the last season. This could be just from the hallucination. This could be a big shot. We see a cave, and we see a silhouette of a man. Basically, it's a Batman figure without the ears. It seems to be
okay.
The thing it's we're in a cave and there's a shadow, a silhouette of basically a figure with a cape, no bat ears, but a cape, which suggests I'm thinking he's going to. Okay, basically, I don't have a lot of spec either. It's just basically that was the majority of it. So basically, man with this Jim and Penguin dynamic, which I'm really excited about. I think it's going to be for like an episode or two. They're going to be bonding in Arkham. There's going to be like a little war, and then there's basically Penguin's going to be challenged to a fight. Basically, Penguin's going to unleash on Jerome, and him beating Jerome near death is going to titillate Jerome. They're going to be buddies after that. Like, hey, you beat the crap, man! Like you were crazy. I like this guy. And that is a reference to my recollection. I don't know if I have the years right on this, but very much the 70s Penguin Joker dynamic. The Denny O'Neil era of Penguin and Joker, they were kind of buddy for a while. That's kind of where you get the Scooby-Doo, kind of like, the crossovers with Scooby-Doo and Batman, where you have Joker and Penguin always paired up together.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where you get that from that 70s comic, right? It's kind of, I think they're homaging that in this, the whole, like, pairing those characters together.
Right.
Also, what I think ultimately it's going to pay off to, I think we're going to have an escape at some point. Then Jerome's just going to drop off from the season until we pick up with him later on. That's my main bet. But
now, do we know if it's going to be like a 3-episode arc and then another break, or what?
We don't know yet. Again, spring is like the thing that threw me for a loop, so we really don't know much coming back here. So again, they could change things up big time with that spring thing. I don't know. It might just try to get it all out without a break in doing this. I don't know. Regardless, what I think is going to happen. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
What I think, honestly, what I think they're going to do is, so basically, with this escape, with Jerome's, with eventual escape, they're bound to. We have to get Penguin out of Arkham somehow, but we can do that one of two ways. Either Jerome helps him escape, or most likely, all we really need to get Penguin out of Arkham, you got to remember, is the boy. You just need to bring Martine back, and he's cleared.
That's true. That's
so honestly,
what ended up happening.
The more I'm thinking about it, to be quite honest, I think we're just gonna have some fun with Jerome and Arkham. We're gonna save like a Jerome episode, and then we're gonna bring Jerome back and like a visit with Bruce, quite possibly, to bring Bruce back into the game. Possibly, I'm still hoping we get that scene. That's why I'm kind of steadfastly hoping for that. I think Ivy is going to lead to all those hallucinations of the future, which I think Bruce is going to see himself in the cape in the future. I don't know. Not an actual. He's not seeing into the future, but he's approximating kind of destiny and stuff, the Ra's al Ghul stuff. That's what's going to lead to the. My point is, I think all those trippy visuals at the end there, I think it's all going to be in Bruce's head. And lastly, I think we're building to Riddler and Scarecrow at the end of the season, as I've been kind of saying beforehand. But I've been saying that already. That's why I think we're going to end the season off on, Riddler kind of getting back to his former self and him being like the big threat towards the tail end of the season. Mm-hmm. And Scarecrow being at the very end, which will give Bruce the vision of the bats. So that's okay. So that's all I got. So okay, any final thoughts, Tiki?
Yeah, it's honestly the whole idea of Riddler and Penguin, like, oh, they're at each other's throats again. Oh boy, and that's the big thing to build the season up on. To me, Dragon, that's to kind of paraphrase Mark Hamill here, it's time for Gotham to end. Because quite frankly, I don't want to see the show turning its wheels like that. You know what I mean? It's I'd rather the show kind of go out on a high note, and for that reason, I'm kind of optimistic that maybe I don't know. I feel like if it ended this season, I feel like there might be a little bit too much left unanswered, but I could honestly see them doing this season plus another 12 episodes or so, for season 5, a shorter season 5. I've always said that shorter seasons of the show would do it a lot of good anyways, so I digress. But for this episode, Dragon, like you said, it is very depressing. There are a lot of bumpy roads that the episode goes on. Overall, as I said, my two big complaints about it are Nigma and the Grundy thing. While I'm sure that we were going to get here eventually, I just feel like maybe it happened maybe like 2 or 3 episodes too early. But other than that, I can't really complain. It was solid.
Yeah, I echo a lot. I echo the point about Grundy and Nigma. Yeah, we did kind of force in there because we had to, because of the break. Again, I think had they known they were coming back in spring, because they don't know that going into this season. I don't know they're going to be on break till the spring, I guess. But I don't know if it's a production issue or not. But anyway, I'll say as much of the tease with the point you made. I don't think I'm gonna be optimistic here. I don't think they're gonna have the. I think this Jerome Penguin thing might help avoid Penguin getting revenge on Riddler. I think just this experience is going to kind of mend that bridge, so we don't have to do that again. I'm going to be optimistic and hope they're going to go that route. Just a thought,
Uh-huh.
But again, overall, this episode, I think it's again, it was interesting. Again, I'm just still wowed looking at this episode, the Bruce Alfred stuff, and mainly just that Sophia plot and how that came together really didn't let me down there. So there's a lot of good stuff in this episode. I thought it was a decent finale, again with a few shoehorned elements, but in the whole majority of the whole there, I think there's a lot of good there. I had a lot of fun with it. I was impressed in a lot of places. So again, that was a solid mid-season finale. So I guess with that said,
yeah, take us out.
Well, kids. Remember, no matter how dark and scary it may seem right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next time, when we go exploring Gotham yet again. Now give me a smile.